All right, what is up, everyone? My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a Flyers game review tonight. And I got a special guest for this one, first ever guest I've ever had on a Flyers Fan Mania 93 game review. I got Jamey Baskow from FlyersNittyGritty.com. He's a writer for that. I'll put a link to the website in the description, and he also has a YouTube channel called Flyers Nitty Gritty. I'll put a link to the channel as well in the description. So, Jamey, how are you, my man?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm honored to be your first guest. This is quite an honor here, man. You're doing good work, and honestly, it's an honor to come on for your fans and your supporters and stuff. And let's go Flyers, right? I mean, what an amazing win, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great game tonight. Flyers, they pick up a 4-2 win over the San Jose Sharks at home. So the Flyers are coming into this. They have the new additions on the ice. The lines were a little bit different. As I said in the recent video, the Flyers, they had the lines of Drew with Couturier and Voracek. That was really the main staple going into it. Then you had the second line it was supposed to be Derek Grant with Hayes and Travis Konecny, and then your third line of Van Riemsdyk, Laughton, and Pitlick, and then the fourth line of Raffl, Aube-Kubel, and who was center in that line? I can't necessarily remember that right now.
Nate Thompson,
right. So again, that was the lines, and then they ended up switching that, so they put Laughton at the second line right wing, or the second line left wing, and then they had Grant at the third line center with Van Riemsdyk and Pitlick, Laughton with Hayes and Konecny. And so to get even into this one, the Flyers had Carter Hart in net. San Jose Sharks had Aaron Dell, and that's been one of the biggest problems for San Jose this season. And the Flyers, they pot one early on the power play. Nicholas Aube-Kubel makes it 1-0. The second unit gets some time out there. Aube-Kubel was slipped into that unit as Farabee got sent down to Lehigh Valley. It was a nice pass from JVR on the rebound. It was kind of an easy goal for Aube-Kubel, and the Flyers a 1-0 lead. After that, the Flyers, they're kind of stingy in their own zone. They're not really getting the puck out quick enough. And San Jose is just all over them from that point, and they finally pounce. As a San Jose defenseman had all the time in the world coming up the left side of the boards. And no one picked him up for the Flyers. He sent it on net. Carter Hart just laid out a real juicy rebound. It was kind of a tough save for him to make. It went right to Kelman. He made it he actually tied it, making it 1-1. And it was just kind of a bad play after that. And then the Sharks were still pouncing. The Flyers got outplayed in the first period. They had a couple chances throughout the period. They had the game's first like six or seven shots. But after that, they couldn't really get anything going. And I guess they had their chances, but nothing was in dangerous ice. Kind of the same thing for San Jose. They had their chances as well, but the Flyers were really keeping everything outside out to the perimeter. And after the first period, the shots on goal were 15-8 in favor of San Jose. So, Jamie, what did you think of that first period?
A terrible first period for the Flyers, even with NAK's first, his goal on his first power play shift. Aside from that, the Flyers started out well. They let in shots 6-0, and it was great. And I'm sitting here, I was like, oh man, this is great. For the past few games, the Flyers have come out in the first period quite well, and then the wheels on the bus started falling off. And honestly, if it wasn't for Carter Hart, it could have easily been 3-1 San Jose at the end of the first period. And then you're looking back to December, and it's like, oh my God, again. I thought, honestly, I was terrified when it was 1 at the end of the first. I'm thinking this is a classic trap game. And the Flyers were very focused. I won't even lie. They were focused yesterday. Everything was going great. They had players only meeting. It was the same thing like the previous, Monday. They had a players only meeting they called for before the game. And, after practice for that matter. Sorry, not before the game. And to let the team know exactly where they stand and what, you got to stay focused. So the Flyers were focused for this, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The first period has been the Achilles heel for the Flyers organization for the past 5 or 6 years, and it started the last few years under the Lavi era, and then it filtered into the Hacksaw era, and now like this year is Alain Vigneault. They've been much better under Alain Vigneault in the first, but they're still inconsistent. You just don't know what team you're going to get in the first league. And it can become a problem in the playoffs. And that's like a big thing right now. The Flyers are making this playoff push. And here, who's coming for, Friday? Now you got the Rangers Friday and the Rangers Sunday, right? So in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, 1-1 against the Sharks. we got the Rangers on Friday. Holy moly, because the
Yeah.
Rangers are buzzsaw right now. They're
Right.
just killing teams right now. I mean, they just
Exactly.
nowhere. They're only 4 points behind now of that second wild card spot. And I'm looking back and I'm like, oh my Lord. Like,
Yeah, it's
so happy.
crazy because
Honestly, I was worried. It was a scary first period for me because the only line that had consistency in that first period was the Ginger line.
right.
And you looked at the other lines, the Laughton-Hayes-TK line didn't start heating up yet. And then you had the third line that was out of sorts. And the fourth line played okay. Like it wasn't nothing to ride home about in the first period anyway, for that matter. So
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, all that the chemistry and things like that, that was honestly expected. I know I expected it. It was just I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right, they're up 1-0. I'm like they might start to fall off here a little bit because of the new guys coming in with the new
yeah.
team and things like that, and only having one practice with them, a little bit of warm ups. That's really not much for new guys coming in. So it was a little bit expected. But in the second period, as you said, that Hayes, Laughton, and Konecny line, they get going real early. Kevin Hayes makes it 2-1 on this goal, and it was actually the Sharks challenged this one. I thought it was onside from the beginning, and I said that until the end. I was like, it was close, but I didn't think they had enough conclusive evidence. So Konecny dragged it over the line, fed it into Laughton. He made a nice little fake pass over to Hayes. He ripped it by Dell on the glove side, making it 2-1 Flyers. Real nice play here, and as I said, it was kind of I thought it was a good challenge. Something like that you have to challenge. If you're San Jose, a team that's just really playing for pride, not even just San Jose, just anyone, you have to challenge that in a close game that's tied. But I didn't think there was enough conclusive evidence to turn that one back.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what it came down to. It did sort of look like Laughton was offside, so I was a little concerned that the goal was going to be denied. But again, I agree with you 100%. I don't think there was enough conclusive evidence, and it was just good to see, Laughton, come down. Laughton has played really well. He earned this promotion
Yes.
in the second line, and
Yeah.
you saw when he dinged one off that crossbar, and like it was a double doink, wasn't it? It hit
It
off
hit the crossbar, then
left
the
side.
post, and came right out.
Right. So like I'm like he's just been on fire. So I was pretty happy that goal stood for that line for that matter because that seemed to get the things together for the Flyers. It regained their footing,
Yeah,
and
definitely. And
just saw it went from the double doink, with Scott Laughton. Then
mhm,
Thompson had, like you said earlier, had that good 2-on-1 rush. So
right.
Thompson had that good scoring chance there and was robbed by Dell. He made a really good save, and Thompson could have potted his first as a Flyer.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it just seemed from there the Flyers then started to get moving.
Yeah,
And
yeah. After that goal, it was really when the Flyers started to get the train rolling. So after that, they're having lots of chances, and there was kind of like I guess you could say a fumble at the Sharks, or it was at the Flyers blue line. Technically, it's the Sharks, but the two players collide, and then Kevin Hayes has a 2-on-1, slows up at the blue line, feeds it over to Travis Konecny, who's speeding through the net right into the slot. He rips it 5-hole on Dell. That one just trickled over the line. It was kind of like a knuckle puck as it went in, and it was a 3-1 Flyers lead after that. And that was a really good period from the Flyers just offensively because the first period they were swarmed in their own zone. The Sharks were all over it. They regrouped in the second, into the first intermission. They had a really good period defensively. The shots were 10-10 after that period. They were tied even. I thought the best Sharks player was Evander Kane in that second period. He was all over the ice, had a couple chances early. He was flying through the neutral zone. And I think the Flyers defense did a good job throughout, not even just in the second period, but throughout the whole game, stopping him at the blue line. Matt Niskanen made some good veteran plays on him. Ivan Provorov, and even guys like Phil Myers, Travis Sanheim, Justin Braun, they were all making good plays on those speedy Sharks players through the zone. And I think that's what really helped the Flyers in that second period there to give them the 3-1 lead going into the third period.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ivan Provorov and Matt Niskanen settled and solidified that blue line. Yeah, not only in the second, but throughout the course of the game as well. That pairing was just phenomenal tonight, and
Mm-hmm.
hats off to them, for not letting like I said, after that sluggish first period, you could sense the wheels falling off the bus a little bit. So it was good to get this feel good second period there, and Hayes potting his 20th. You know, he was ridiculed, right? Before the season began.
Hmm.
At the signing, people were
He
like,
didn't
"Oh,
even step on the ice yet. Oh, he's overpaid. He's this
he'll
and that.
score 20. He'll
Right.
score. You'll be lucky if you get 14 or 15 goals. And what is he? He's going to smash his career high of 25 goals.
Hmm.
He's on pace to pot. What is it? 29 goals this season.
Yeah. That's unreal. He's playing very good.
I mean, he could pot. The guy's just on fire right now. He's a
Hmm.
beast. He was a beast tonight. He was a beast in the second period. And that's what you need is you need your leaders. And he is a leader. He's
Right.
a leader in the locker room. He called Nate Thompson yesterday. Him, Claude Giroux and Sean Couturier called Nate Thompson to greet that, welcome him to Philadelphia and stuff, late last night. That's what leaders do.
Right.
And you just saw it was like AV waved his magic wand and put that line together, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that Laughton-Hayes TK line was just unstoppable. And what did TK do? In a second, he had what?
He had 3 points in the whole game.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So what did he have? He had 4 goals and 5 assists in his
Yeah.
last
And it's
11,
like 7 or 8 games or something.
in his last 7.
7.
So at the end of the second, he had 4 goals and 6 assists in his last 7 games.
Yeah, that's unreal, man. He's playing. He's easily been one of the Flyers' top 3 players all season in my mind. And the Flyers, they go into the third period and they're getting chances early again from that line of Hayes, Konecny, and Laughton. And Laughton, he makes a really nice play on the puck that's going towards the boards. Makes a nice hustle play, gets it down low to Konecny. He feds it back to the point, and Laughton kind of fans on the pass over to Hayes. And then Hayes takes a one-timer. That one just trickled over the line as well. The Sharks defenseman tried to flick it out before, but it ended up crossing the line, and it was 4-1 Flyers. Hayes' 21st goal of the season, and as you said, he's been playing unreal. And then after that, it was kind of even, I guess you could say. Not many teams were getting their chances. The Flyers, then that line again started to get their chances. Phil Myers hit a crossbar, which was a bullet of a shot. He had a couple really nice shots in that period. And again, I thought the Flyers were pretty good until it was really an unlucky play here from Claude Giroux. He went to backhand the puck out of the zone, and he fanned on it. The puck, it kind of rolled on him. It was like a knuckle puck. The Sharks picked it up, and Kelman ripped it glove side high on Carter Hart. And it was just a complete snipe of the shot. And after that, it was a 4-2 lead, and the Flyers held on for the 4-2 win and the all-important 2 points in this one. So now I'm going to give you the regular stats and the Corsi percentage for this one. So shots on goal were 28-27 in favor of San Jose. Face-offs percentage was 64% for the Flyers, 36 for San Jose. Flyers power play was 1 for 2. That goal from Aubrey Kubel. And the Sharks were 0 for 2. Flyers had a good penalty kill tonight, very aggressive. I liked Grant and Thompson on that penalty kill. The hits were 22-17 in favor of the Sharks. The blocks were 18-17 in favor of the Flyers, and your giveaways were 14-9 in favor of the Flyers. For the Corsi percentage, in the first period, the Flyers had a 41.03% to the Sharks 58.97, and then the Flyers really dominated in that second period with a 62.96 to the Sharks 37.04, and then the third, the Flyers dominated again with a 61.54% to the Sharks 38.46, and then for the final, the Flyers had a 53.76% to the Sharks 46.74. So the Flyers had a good game overall. Corsi-wise, they had a good game in the last 2 periods, but again, that first period that might come back to haunt them in some games. We know it has in the past. That road trip coming back from the Christmas break, that first period was just dreadful to watch. And there's also been a couple games where they've had bad first periods, but they were able to come back, and that was definitely the case tonight. Carter Hart stopped 26 of 28. He had a really solid game. After that goal he gave up in the first period, the goal off that kind of a bad rebound, it was still a difficult save for him to make, really no defensive help as well, but even still, it's a bad rebound. And then after that, he really settled in, and that second goal, as I said, it was just a pure snipe. As for Hart, I thought he had a good game, and I'm excited to see who they put in for this game Friday night against the Rangers. I would assume it's Carter Hart, but I'm thinking Elliott maybe gets one of these games. And if I'm the Flyers, I do Hart Friday and then Elliott Sunday in New York. And the only reason I say that is because if you're the Flyers right now and you want to make the playoffs, you're going to start your better goaltender wherever. Hart, obviously, he's been a brick wall at home. You're going to start him in home games. Brian Elliott, you're going to start him on the road because he's been the better goalie. Until you get to the playoffs, Carter Hart is going to be starting every game in the series. So if you're the Flyers right now, you're battling for a spot. You want to get your better goalie out there on the ice wherever they are, whether it's home or on the road. So if I'm the Flyers, I go Hart Friday night against the Rangers, and then Elliott Sunday against the Rangers as well, the second game of a back-to-back in New York.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I will say this. Carter Hart played a really good game tonight. I was very impressed with Carter Hart because, again, the wheels on the bus, started to fall off in the first period. And if he doesn't make those timely saves in the second period as well, and say Laughton, had that double doink, but say San Jose, comes down and pots one, dude, it's a whole complexion of a game there.
Exactly.
Carter Hart was very, very strong tonight, and that should not. And I was happy that you mentioned that he was really good tonight because he deserved that. He was an underappreciated player because, of course, the two players that shined tonight, or three players for that matter, were Laughton-Hayes and TK. And, then you could go Provorov and Niskanen, for defense. But Carter Hart really played his ass off tonight, and hats off to him. Yeah, he made those timely saves. He made the timely saves in the first, made the timely saves in the second, held it down in the third period. If San Jose comes back, and makes it a 3-2 game, it's a whole different complexion. The Flyers are on their heels. They're reeling at that point. So it could be, we've seen before, teams come back, Flyers have a comfortable lead. Teams come back. The Flyers have done it numerous times this year to other teams as well. So it goes hand in hand. But, I was happy aside with that, I wasn't happy about that G turnover, but, that's just a fluky hockey player.
Yeah.
That sometimes just happens. It is what it is.
Yeah. It happens to the best of them.
I'm not happy about it. He's not happy about it. But was it necessarily like, his fault of a turnover, like a brutal turnover? No, I don't think so. It's misconstrued at times, but it was just one of those fluky plays, a fluky turnover that just happened to end up in the back of the net there. So I think that was but overall, I think that the third line looked out of sorts, in terms of JVR, Grant, and Pitlick. I thought Thompson, played a decent game, for the minutes that he was given. He had that prime scoring chance in the second period there. Almost potted that, goal on the 2-on-1 there. But the NAK, I thought, got some valuable minutes and, made the most of his minutes. Raffle, didn't hear from him too much, to be honest. He wasn't as noticeable, and sometimes that's a good thing. It just, the minutes just weren't there and stuff like that. But I am happy with the Flyers power play at this time. It's always room for improvement. But we got to admit, it is better than what it was a month ago.
It is.
And you can tell that the Flyers are really working hard at it because talking with AV last week in the locker room after Monday's practice, he knows how big a key of a factor that power play can be come playoff time. He flat out said, you're going to need your power play and you're going to need your special teams, come playoff time. He said, of course, you need it now. But you need it even more so in the playoffs because the playoffs is a different atmosphere. Everything is different. One power play goal, could change the whole complexion of a game. I mean, how it is come playoff time.
Right.
Each shift, every puck that's carried into the zone or exited from the zone can end up in the back of the net or can end up in third net. So, it's just a whole different atmosphere. So, overall, like you said, the power play was 1 for 2. I was happy, with the puck moving and stuff. And it was nice to see NAK pot, a power play goal in this first power play shift because if there was one criticism of the trade deadline from yesterday, and I hate to bring this up, but was Farabee being sent back to Lehigh Valley.
Right.
Although I understand it, and I agree with Fletcher, he needs minutes and stuff. It's still one that I didn't expect to happen. And so it was a shock to me. So it was good to see that, hey, they still have some ammunition on that second power play with the loss of Joel Farabee.
Right.
So it was nice to see NAK get rewarded. And I give hats off to AV. What a phenomenal coach.
He's been unreal. I've loved him ever since they got him.
I mean, what does he say after that first period? He must kick a ton of trash cans, or something because they really got their butts going, in that second period. So
yeah, definitely.
And again, AV waved his magic wand and put that Laughton-Hayes TK line together. He noticed how good Laughton has been recently, and Laughton deserved that promotion to the second line. And hats off to him too, because he made the most of his, opportunity too. So, and he told me last week he'd go anywhere within the lineup that the coaching staff asked of him. He's just doing what they asked. So,
yeah, definitely.
And overall it was a good game, and I'm optimistic about Friday night. But I do agree with you 100%. Carter Hart has to get that start Friday.
Yeah, definitely.
And and the Moose should start Sunday. That I would do that. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest thing for the Flyers is with all the additions at that trade deadline, they add more depth. And honestly, you can't have enough depth in the NHL. Not even just the NHL. That's just in any sport, really. And like the biggest thing is the Flyers are going to have, they're going to need 4 lines through the rest of the season and all the playoffs. And I think that's what the big additions at their deadline did for them. And again, I thought it was a good game all around. The first period, again, it was a little shaky, but they were able to get it done. And at this point, no one's going to be looking back at their first periods against certain teams, and they're going to say, oh, they had a first. No, it's not going to happen like that. No one's going to go back and dissect it and whatever and things like that. Overall, they got the 2 points, and that was the most important thing. And they closed out this one with a 4-2 win over San Jose. So again, Jamey, I thank you for doing this. It was a great time talking to you, man. And again, guys, on the website, Jamey, he's a writer for FlyersNittyGritty.com, and he also has a YouTube channel called Flyers Nitty Gritty. I'll put links to that in the description below if you want to check that out. Make sure you go give Jamey a follow on Twitter at Jamey Baskow as well. I'll put a link to his Twitter in there, and then again, subscribe to the YouTube channel and do all that, man. He's a real nice guy. Came on and did the video with me. I had a real good time. Again, Jamey, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem. I just want to say thank you to you as well. I just wanted to say one more point. Flyers fans, give Nate Thompson and Derek Grant some time.
Right.
Not just hold them accountable for this one game and say, because even though the third line did look out of sorts, it was to be expected, right? I mean, with Derek Grant and Nate Thompson coming in, I thought Nate Thompson was the better player tonight over Derek Grant, in my opinion. He's more with it. But, I mean, again, he's also 6 years older than Derek Grant, too. And he has been a journeyman throughout his entire career, even more so than, Derek Grant. So let's give these two some time to find and, become, get more practices under their belts before we come to a determination on, okay, we need to move this line. We need to move this line. So, but that's all I wanted to say. So I appreciate you giving me the time to come on.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So, again, guys, the Flyers, they pick up a 4-2 win over the San Jose Sharks. Tonight, we're going to have a podcast episode talking about this game and the games moving forward. Again, the links to my podcast, my articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.